Hey everyone, Sarah from Qigong Health and Wellness here. People have been asking for another Qigong video, so today's finally the day. This is from a live recording of one of my Zoom classes for our winter flow to help with the kidneys, brain health, back and bone health, concentration, focus, strength in the lower body. So this is a really beautiful practice that does so much to help support you, and it also includes acupressure and meditation. So enjoy. So let's go ahead and get into our basic Wuji posture, feet hip distance apart, tucking the pelvis gently, a little bend in the knees, lifting the shoulders up and back, one hand on top of the other over the lower belly, closing the eyes. And begin by taking a few deep belly breaths and arrive to this moment. Go ahead and set your intention for our practice. And taking one more deep belly breath. At the end of that exhale, release the hands, open the eyes, and go ahead and shake it out. So moving and shaking the body, detoxing the lymph nodes, clearing out stress or tension, just getting the blood and the chi, that life force energy to circulate. And if you have some extra stress to release, you can make these loud exhales or audible sighs. All right, one more breath. And release. Maybe feeling some of that buzzing and the tingling, knowing that the chi is flowing throughout the body. Okay, let's do some of our basic warm-ups. You're going to tap on the chest. You can go all over, closer to the armpits, up and down the sternum, underneath the collarbone. So clearing out any congestion from the chest, clearing out tightness. It can also be helpful for stress or anxiety if you're going up and down the sternum. So just creating this openness, spaciousness in the chest. And releasing stagnation, releasing tightness. And take one more deep breath. All right, release the hands. And now you're gonna knock on the kidneys. So you're gonna knock on the kidneys, the sacrum, the lower back. If there's any area that feels tense, hang out at that spot for a little bit. And otherwise, you can keep the head down, relax the shoulders. And this practice is all about kidney health, our Jing in Chinese medicine, or physical energy, our vitality or essence. Also, knocking on the kidneys is good for alleviating back pain, stiffness, soreness. Kidney health in Chinese medicine is also related to brain health. So good for clearing out confusion, mental, emotional, physical fatigue. Let's just take one more breath here. All right, release. Roll the shoulders a little bit. You can do one after the other. You can do both at the same time, back to front, front to back. Maybe getting the head and the neck involved as well. Creating this openness. That might feel really good on the kidneys, but if you're like me and you tend to have tighter shoulders, it's nice to stretch the shoulders after knocking on the kidneys. All right. Moving to the lower body, widening the stance here, knocking the outsides of the legs and then up the inside. So getting more blood and chi to the surface, which is going to be helpful for the movements we have coming up. All right, 2 more times. And now hanging out at the groin, the hips and the waist. As you're knocking on the groin, you're also detoxing the lymph nodes here. This is really good if you sit a lot, because energy can tend to get stagnant. You can feel stiff, the tightness in the hips. So again, creating some openness and space. Take one more breath. All right, release. Bring the feet back together or closer together. And we're gonna do one more basic warm up, cupping the hands, coming to either side of the knee. Front to back of that knee. Opposite knee, side to side. And front to back. All right, release, shake it out again. You can shake it out at any point. Sometimes I will guide you to do it, but feel free if you need to, even without direction, you can do that. Okay, we're gonna move into some arm reaches. So coming back into Wuji posture, feet about hip distance, you're gonna bring both hands up with the shoulders relaxed. As you reach one hand up, you tuck the pelvis. And then release that tuck, bring the arm back down. Lifting the other arm up, tuck the pelvis, and drop back down. So from the side, it's tuck and reach, relax, and tuck, and reach, and relax. You can look up if that's comfortable for the neck. You can keep the head straight, or maybe you want more of a stretch in the back of the neck. So do whatever feels comfortable for the neck here. But continuing to tuck. And our breath, you inhale, reach up and tuck. Exhale down. Inhale, lift and reach. And exhale down. So continuing that breath, bringing more space from the sacrum, the bottom of the spine, up through the head and the brain. Bringing more movement into the arms, opening up the rib cage, opening up the lungs. Couple more. And last set, one more time, both sides. And release. And again, if you need to shake it out or roll the shoulders. Okay. Coming back to Wuji. So once again, with the feet about hip distance apart here, we're going to move into a practice called sacroiliac joint isolation. The sacroiliac joint is what connects the lower spine or the sacrum to the pelvis. So we're going to place the hand right underneath the belly button. And then the opposite hand is going to be on the sacrum, palm facing out, just because that feels easier on the shoulder than palm facing in. And you're going to start to make these small hip circles. So you're bringing space where the hands are on the body, beneath the belly button and on the sacrum. So again, isolating this specific joint, creating more movement in the pelvis and the sacrum. And when you sit a lot during the day, you are specifically cutting off circulation from the sacral pump at the sacrum, of course, the lower body, or the lower back, excuse me, to the spine and then up to the brain. So that can create some mental fatigue, some confusion, some brain fog. Let's go ahead and switch directions. And as we circulate this energy, bringing in more movement, we're creating more space, more energy flow for it to go from the sacral pump up to the cranial pump. So helping with concentration and focus. All right, shoulders down, a couple more rotations. It's nice to know that such a seemingly small movement is having such a relatively big impact on our cognitive functioning and awareness. All right, one more. And release. All right, hands down. Okay. Next up is our dropping the post or lifting bubbling springs movement. So bubbling springs is kidney 1. It's the acupressure point that is on the very bottom of the foot, about 2/3 the way up, closer to the toes. It's the only one on the bottom of the feet. And in Chinese medicine, the kidneys also have to do with, as I mentioned, brain health and your physical energy and your bones. So as we do this move, and I want to demonstrate what it looks like. So it's inhaling up, lifting onto the toes, and then dropping down into the heels, swinging the hands down. So you're creating this vibrational resonance as you drop the heels into the earth. And if it doesn't feel so good on the feet, you can just come down a little bit slowly or a little bit more gently into the heels. But creating this vibrational resonance through the bones is good for strengthening the bones. All right, so we're going to inhale, lift up, coming up onto the toes, and then exhale, drop down into the heels, swing the arms. Inhale, lift up, also testing your balance here, and exhale down. So we're going to do the breath a little bit quicker to match the movements. Inhale up, exhale down. Creating that vibration into the earth, increasing bone density. Stimulating the brain, also a bit of a cardio workout. Couple more. Last 3. All right, and release. Feel free to grab a drink if you're called to it. Before we move into our bear Qigong practices, we move into low horse stance, which is just another name for low squat for the next 4 practices. Okay. So I want to demonstrate what this stance is. I'll demonstrate each movement before we get into it. Bear extends claws. Low horse stance, the feet are at about a 45-degree angle. The pelvis is gently tucked. There's an openness in the hips, so the knees are pressed back. You can see the toes. And then bear extends claws, the palms face up. You turn to the side, both palms still facing up. The inner fingertips are going to face the other elbow. Coming back into the center, and then doing the same thing on the other side. So you get that twist in the waist as you turn. All right, so let's do it together. So starting from this position, low horse stance. So maybe gripping the toes into the earth or the mat, tightening the legs, palms face up at the chest, and then turn from the waist to one side, both palms face up, inner fingertips face the elbow. All right, inhale, come to the center, and exhale, turn. Inhale, center, and exhale, turn. So switching sides with each exhale, always inhaling, coming to the center. Staying in that low stance as you're able to, but if not, you can take a little break and come back up. So continuing this bear extends claws or bear puts out claws for several more breaths. Good for a bit of detox with this twist on the exhale. And these practices are all about the kidneys. So once again, like your physical energy, and then also strengthening the lower body, all the strength that we're building in the legs, from the toes to the knees to the hips and waist. All right, for the last couple of breaths here, we're going to focus our attention on the palms and the fingers. So as you inhale and come to the center, focus the energy on the palms. And as you exhale and turn, focus the energy on the outer fingertips. So inhale, center, focuses on the palms. And then exhale, turn on the outer fingertips specifically. Continue for a couple more breaths with that focus. Shoulders down. All right, one more time, both sides. Coming to the center one more time. And exhale, hands down. We get to take a break in between each one of these, especially if you're not used to doing movements that are in a low squat. That can feel pretty intense. All right, bear double push is next. Bear double push. So the stance, the starting stance is always the same way. So in that low squat, and then we start the same way with the palms face up, and then bear double push, you're pushing out to the side. So noticing that the position of my hands are equal, you're gonna feel a greater stretch in that front arm because you have to turn a little bit more. And then palms face up, coming to the center, and then push to the other side. So with the breath, inhale, center, and then exhale, push. Inhale, center, shoulders down. And exhale, turn and push. So continuing that breath, always getting that exhale or that purge as you twist. Again, strong lower body. So maybe tightening the toes or tightening the grip in the lower body, the legs, creating a nice strong posture or stance. Creating that foundation. These next several breaths, we're going to add in the focus to the hands again. So inhale, bringing the attention into the palms. Exhale, turn and push as though you're pushing up against a wall. So inhale, attention or focus in the palms. And exhale, turn and push. Feel that slight resistance. All right, several more. Two more sets. One. All right, coming back to the center again. Inhale. And exhale, release. Whew. All right. Again, lots of strength with these practices, especially for bear Qigong. But all of these are really good for boosting your vitality, your energy reserves that are associated with the kidneys. Okay, third practice. Start the same way. This is called bear push to ground. I want to demonstrate what this one looks like one time on either side, then we'll do several together. Okay. So just a couple of notes about that one. So starting by pushing out to the side, and then as I release my hands, I'm ragdolling down to the other side. So you're feeling this spinal elongation. If it feels good for the neck, you can release the head and the neck as you do that as well. All right, so getting back into your low horse stance position, pushing out to one side, the elbows are bent here. And now you're going to release the hands, roll down forward to the other side, lifting up and push. All right, so again, releasing the hands, rolling down to the side, through the center, up to the other side, lifting up and push. We're going to inhale, stay here. Exhale, release the hands, circling around, releasing the head and the neck. Inhale up, exhale, push. Inhale, stay here. And then exhale, ragdoll down all the way to the other side. Lifting up, inhale, and exhale, push. So you get more of a balance challenge coming all the way down. Inhale, and exhale, hinging forward, releasing the hands to the earth. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, push. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, down and around, feeling that spinal decompression. Inhaling up. Exhale, push. One more time together, and then a couple on our own. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, down and around, releasing the spine, the head, the neck, the hands. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, push. All right, a couple on our own breath. Nice and strong with that stance. Shoulders down. Two more sets. Last set. All right, release. You're going to release that position, that posture, shaking it out. If you feel like you need to, you can knock on the legs again, getting more circulation and movement. We are almost there when it comes to bear practices. We just have one more. Bear push back. Okay, bear push back. And once again, I'll demonstrate what this one looks like both sides. We'll do several together. Same stance as always. Same thing on the other side. Okay. All right, so once again, we are rolling down, but instead of hinging forward and going all the way, it's a half circle. All right, our half turn, and we start by pushing out to one side. And now come to the center, the pointer fingers and the thumbs touch, making a triangle mudra. And now release the hands as you hinge forward, rolling to the other side, lifting up and pushing out. So again, coming to the center, triangle mudra, pointers and thumbs touch. Release the hands, come down to the earth, rolling to the other side, lifting up, and push. All right, with the breath, inhale, center, triangle mudra. Exhale, release the hands, hinge forward. And then inhale, rolling up to the other side. Exhale, push. Inhale, center, triangle mudra, shoulders down. Exhale, hinge forward, release, feeling that decompression in the spine. And then inhale, rolling up to the other side. And exhale, pushing against that wall, again, slight resistance. Inhale, center, triangle mudra. Exhale, dropping down to the earth, opening up the back of the spine, the head, and the neck. Inhale, rolling up to the other side. And then exhale, push against that wall, slight resistance. One more together. Inhale, triangle mudra. Exhale, hinge forward, opening up the spine. Inhale, rolling up to the other side. And exhale, push against that wall. All right, a couple on our own breath now. With the shoulders down. Just a couple more to go. Two more sets. Last set. One more time, both sides. Shoulders down. Release the posture. Whew. All right, feel free to shake it out again. Finished with the bear Qigong practices. We have one more animal style practice, which is called lion plays with Qi ball. And because I know that was a lot of energy expenditure and a lot of strength building in the legs, the last three practices we have are much more yin, so like more cooling, more flowy energy. It's just a nice balance to all that strength that we just did and all the detox with the turning of the hips and the waist. Okay, so you can start in a neutral stance. A neutral stance is just wuji, feet hip distance. We begin with both hands about a foot apart, palms facing. And you're imagining that there is a string connecting each hand. So connecting the palms together. As you move the position of one hand, the other hand moves in turn. And so this practice, it's really more free form. And so lion plays with Qi ball. It's about exploring the space, levity, curiosity, playfulness. Just playing with your space here. So holding on to that ball. Maybe moving in the hips, waist, and legs too. More of the focus is in the arms and the palms. The shoulders are relaxed. This one's also so good if you do any kind of healing or energy work with the hands. This is increasing and fine-tuning your sensations or your perception of those subtle or maybe not so subtle energies of qi within the hands, between the palms. So we're going to move into this for several breaths. Again, exploring your space, what feels good, and be open. bringing relaxation into the fingers, the wrists, and the palms. You become more perceptive to energy when there's relaxation rather than tightness or force. Few more breaths, exploring the space. And now one more breath, coming back to our starting position, hands about a foot apart in front of the chest. And now you're going to inhale to open the palms and exhale to close the palms. And relaxation in the hands, wrists, and fingers. Just noticing what you feel here. If you want to play a little bit more with these sensations, you can bring the hands a little closer together and make these micro pulsations. And you might start to feel some subtle resistance in between the palms, or buzzing, tingling, maybe heat or coolness. This energy can manifest in a number of different ways. All right, take another breath here. And keeping the hands where they are, we're going to move into the fountain. So you're going to hinge forward. The backs of the hands are going to come together. And now pelvis forward, lifting the hands up overhead. And then the hands float down as you hinge from the hips again. So backs of the hands meet in the low position, bringing the hands up through the center, lifting up overhead, and then dropping down to the sides like a fountain. The breath is inhale, coming up through the center, and exhale down. Inhaling, lifting through the center, and exhale down. Because this is a water element practice used to nourish the kidneys as well, and again called the fountain, you're going to inhale, rolling up the spine, creating this undulation upward, and then exhale, come down. So inhale, rolling up the spine like a wave is moving from the bottom to the top of the spine, and then exhale, come back down. So playing with this fluidity with this practice, creating power through flow rather than force. few more breaths. Two more. And then standing back up slowly. All right, last holding posture is called lower dantian breathing. And the lower dantian is one of the three main energy centers in the body, according to Chinese medicine. And the lower dantian, you're going to find the belly button 4 finger widths or about 2 inches beneath that space, placing your hands over that spot. And the lower dantian is at this space and then directly in front of the spine on the inside of the body. So once you have that space in mind, close the eyes. This practice is about boosting your energy reserves, your energy batteries, or your vitality or essence. So as you breathe, breathe into the lower dantian. As you exhale, just relax the shoulders, release, and let go. Inhale, breathing into the lower dantian. And exhale, release. We'll do this several times, and with every inhale, breathing in vitality. So before I sit down, I want to show you where this point is. I'm going to get my foot up here. This is our bladder 60 acupressure point. It is between the ankle and the Achilles heel here, the Achilles tendon. All right, so we're going to go ahead and push in that space in between, again, between the ankle and the tendon. All right. So bladder 60 acupressure point. And so sometimes I will pinch, so I'll actually get the inside of the ankle as well. If that feels comfortable as far as how you apply pressure, you can feel free to do that. And you're applying pressure the amount that feels good for you. I always tend to like firmer pressure, but that doesn't work for everybody. So if you feel like you need a more gentle touch, you know what you need best. All right, so this is our bladder 60 acupressure point, or called Kunlun Mountain. So just a note, this is forbidden during pregnancy because it causes the energy to go downward, which can stimulate contraction. So I do want to mention that point. If you are currently pregnant, or if you're showing this point to somebody who is pregnant, they're not allowed to do it, FYI. All right, Kunlun represents the central axis of all creation, uniting heaven and earth. In the human body, this yin and yang energy is reflected in the fundamental balance between fire, the great yang, and water, or the great yin. This point harmonizes the fire and water elements, so it harmonizes yin and yang and then aids overall balance. More practically, what that can mean for day-to-day life is that when someone feels cold, there's a contraction or constriction of the muscles, but there can also be a tightening of the mind, emotional withdrawal, and an evaporation of compassion for others. When the water freezes in this regard, thereby putting out the internal fire, this acupressure point helps to warm both body and soul. It also relieves chronic back pain, especially in the lumbar region. It treats pain in the shoulders, back, and neck, and especially at the back of the head. And as I mentioned, this point has a strong descending action,
pulling down yang from the upper body, hence its effectiveness for head, neck, and back pain. It treats heat in the head, swelling and pain in the eyes, nosebleed, and toothache, clears heat from the body, like if you're experiencing burning urination or bladder infection. This is a bladder acupressure point after all. It also calms and settles the mind. And then finally, they say when you feel inundated with the waters of life, too exhausted to move, Kunlun can raise you to the mountain where a fresh, wider perspective is available and the power of regeneration is possible. So let's just take one more breath, applying pressure on that side. And then always mindfully exiting an acupressure point by slowly releasing pressure. You can go ahead and find that point on the other side. So outer ankle or outer foot in between the ankle and the tendon, that squishy space in between. Again, if you feel like you need to grip both sides, just focus more on the outer side where this acupressure point is. So we can go ahead and close the eyes and relax the shoulders. We're going to sink into this point for several breaths. Just notice what shows up for you here. Feeling the shoulders release, relax, and melt down. And take one more deep breath. All right, at the end of that exhale, again, you can slowly release that acupressure point. And now we're going to move into our meditation. So you can either remain seated or you can take a couple of moments to lie down and get comfortable in whichever position you choose. This is a water flow meditation, a winter flow meditation about embracing the water element and cultivating confidence. So, in that position that you've chosen, release any tension around the eyes, around the jaw, perhaps the throat, feeling a lightness in the chest and a relaxation in the belly. Taking several deep belly breaths, arriving to this present moment. Continue to breathe softly. In Chinese medicine, winter's associated with the kidneys and water element. Begin to embrace this element by imagining walking up to a serene lake and sitting on a warm blanket by the water's edge. The water's surface is calm and still. And now dip your hand into the lake, feeling its coolness and fluidity. For the next several breaths, connect with the water element, exploring its qualities of flow, adaptability, and wisdom. In winter, nature slows down, and so can you. Embrace the stillness and introspection of this season. Imagine yourself still sitting comfortably by the lake, surrounded by a gentle snowfall. Each snowflake represents a new opportunity for growth and transformation. As the snowflakes land on your skin, perhaps on your hand or cheek, feel a deep sense of renewal and rejuvenation. Take another breath. One of the positive emotions associated with the kidneys and water element is confidence. Bring your attention to your kidneys and breathe in this empowering state of being. Breathe in confidence. To cultivate or nurture confidence and self assuredness, offer yourself gratitude for something that you do well or something that you feel proud of yourself for, and maybe even taking this class. When we focus on gratitude, we eradicate fear, insecurity, or feeling ungrounded. Gratitude shifts our attention to the kind of energy that we want to experience more of. And now think of a time when you felt or practiced flow in your life. What were you doing? And how did you feel? And now, connecting with your innate wisdom, ask yourself this question and tune into the very first response that pops up. I'll read it twice. How will taking time for stillness and introspection support my healing during winter? How will taking time for stillness and introspection support my healing during winter? Another breath. Bring your attention back to the lake, and you see a small stone sitting next to you. Gently pick it up and think of an intention for this season, like how you want to be or feel or what you want to experience. With your intention in mind, toss the stone into the lake and notice how the water ripples, much like the expansion of energy when we put our focus on something, remembering that you are the creator. And finally, bringing your attention back to your lower belly, taking a few mindful belly breaths, and carry your winter intention, confidence, wisdom, and flow. Carry this with you throughout the months ahead. And take one final deep belly breath. At the end of that exhale, You can slowly start to wiggle your fingers and toes. You can move and stretch in a way that feels nourishing and supportive. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes.